There's a moment, usually quiet and unplanned, when this question crosses your mind. When I get to heaven, will I remember this life? Maybe it happens after losing someone close. Maybe when you hold an old photograph and feel that ache of time passing. It's a question that doesn't come from curiosity. It comes from love, from the fear of losing the people and moments that shaped who we are. When we talk about heaven, we often picture perfection. No pain, no tears, no loss. But what happens to memory in that perfect place? Will we still know our family, our friends, the people we've shared laughter and heartbreak with? Or will heaven begin as a blank slate, untouched by what came before? The truth is, the Bible gives us clues, not to satisfy our curiosity, but to comfort our hearts. Scripture doesn't say we'll forget our earthly lives. In fact, it often points the other way. When Jesus appeared after his resurrection, his followers recognized him. He carried the scars, but they no longer brought pain. That's a powerful image. Memory redeemed, not erased. Heaven isn't about forgetting where you came from. It's about finally understanding it. Every tear, every joy, every lesson. They'll make sense in ways they never could hear. Imagine remembering everything, but without the weight, without shame, without regret. That's the kind of memory heaven promises, not the kind that hurts, but the kind that heals. Memory is both a gift and a burden. Here on earth, it's the thing that holds us together, but also the thing that sometimes breaks us. We remember the words we wish we hadn't said, the faces we've lost, the mistakes that keep replaying in silence. There are moments you try to bury so deep they'll never surface again, yet somehow they always find their way back when the world goes quiet. That's the nature of life here. We're shaped by what we carry. Every joy, every wound, it builds the person you see in the mirror. And that's why the idea of forgetting everything in heaven feels so hard to accept. Because if we lose all of that, then who are we? But think about it differently. What if the problem isn't memory itself, but the pain attached to it? What if God's plan isn't to erase what made you you, but to restore it? To untangle your memories from guilt, loss, and sorrow, so that only truth and love remain. Imagine remembering the hardest seasons of your life, but with perfect peace. You see what once broke you, and instead of pain, you feel gratitude. You understand the why behind what once seemed unbearable. In Revelation 21:4 it says, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain." That doesn't say he'll erase the reasons we cried. It says he'll heal them. There's a difference between forgetting and being free. In heaven, the weight of memory will lift. Not because it's gone, but because it's redeemed. Every scar will tell a story of grace, not grief. Every face we loved will still matter. Every lesson learned will still count. When we talk about memory in heaven, we're not just guessing. The Bible gives us glimpses, small but powerful enough to build a picture. And those glimpses suggest that memory doesn't vanish. It transforms. In Luke 16, Jesus tells the story of the rich man and Lazarus. After death, the rich man recognizes Lazarus. He remembers his life, his choices, even his brothers still living on earth. This isn't a man with his memory wiped clean. This is someone fully aware of who he was and what he's done. And then, in Revelation 6 verses 9 and 10, the souls of martyrs cry out to God, asking when he will bring justice for what happened to them on earth. They remember their suffering. But notice this, they remember it without despair. They speak from a place of truth, not torment. That's the key difference. In heaven, memory won't hurt, it will illuminate. Every event, even the painful ones, will make sense in ways we could never grasp here. You'll see how moments that once felt cruel were threads in a design too vast to understand in this life. It's like looking at a painting from up close. All you see are chaotic strokes, harsh lines, confusing shadows. But when you step back, you finally see the masterpiece. Heaven gives us that distance. It's not amnesia, it's clarity. And if memory were gone, how could we fully appreciate what we've been saved from? How could we understand grace if we forgot what it rescued us out of? Heaven's joy will be deeper because we'll remember what it cost. That's not just justice, it's love in its purest form. God doesn't need to erase your past to make you whole. He redeems it until even the hardest memories become part of your worship. This is one of the questions that lingers in almost every heart. If heaven is real, and we believe it is, will we still recognize the faces we once knew? The ones we laughed with, cried for, prayed beside? Think about this. When Jesus was transfigured before his disciples, Moses and Elijah appeared with him. They had lived centuries apart, yet the disciples recognized them instantly. There was no confusion, no introduction needed. That moment wasn't just a miracle, it was a clue. It revealed that identity endures beyond death. Who we are doesn't dissolve when our earthly bodies do. Heaven is not a place of isolation, it's a place of restored connection. Imagine seeing someone you loved deeply, someone who shaped your story, and finally being able to love them without the limits of time, misunderstanding, or distance. In heaven, love is purified, not erased. But here's what's profound. Our relationships there won't be bound by the same emotional hunger or pain we carry here. You won't miss someone because no one is ever absent. You won't grieve what's lost because nothing is lost anymore. Instead, you'll finally understand what love was always meant to be: unbroken, eternal, and free from fear. So yes, you will remember the people you loved, but your memory of them will no longer carry the sting of goodbye. It will be a recognition wrapped in peace, a reunion without tears. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13:12, "Now I know in part, then I shall know fully." In that moment, every face, every story, every connection will find its place in the grand mosaic of eternity. And the beauty of it? You won't just remember who they were. You'll see them as God always saw them: whole, radiant, finally free. This is where many hearts hesitate, because if we remember our life on earth, what about the pain, the loss, the mistakes? How can heaven be a place of perfect peace if the past still echoes within us? It's a fair question. After all, some memories cut so deep that even years later, they can still sting. But the promise of heaven isn't that we'll forget everything. It's that everything will finally make sense. Think about it like this. Right now, we only see fragments of our story. We remember the moments of heartbreak, but not always what they led to. We feel the weight of our failures, but we don't yet see the redemption that came through them. Heaven completes that story. It turns every broken piece into part of something beautiful. When Revelation 21:4 says, "He will wipe away every tear from their eyes," it doesn't just mean God will erase memory. It means He will heal what memory once carried. The pain will lose its power. The guilt will lose its grip. The sorrow will lose its voice. You might still know what you went through, but you'll see it from a higher perspective. The way a survivor sees scars, not as reminders of pain, but of endurance, of grace that held them through the fire. God doesn't erase your story. He redeems it. He transforms the things that once hurt you into testimonies of His love. Imagine remembering your hardest moments and feeling only gratitude because you can finally see how even in the silence, you were never abandoned. So no, heaven isn't about forgetting. It's about remembering without suffering. That's the miracle of it. You'll see your life with new eyes, and every unanswered why will finally meet its because. It's one of the most comforting and yet haunting questions that lingers in many hearts. Will I know them? The faces that shaped your life, the voices that once filled your days. Do they fade into eternity, or do they meet you again, familiar and whole? The Bible doesn't leave this as a mystery wrapped in silence. Again and again, it paints moments that point to recognition. When Jesus was transfigured, the disciples saw Moses and Elijah, men who had lived centuries before, yet were known instantly. When Jesus rose from the dead, His followers recognized Him, not just by sight, but by presence, by love. So yes, recognition exists, but it's not just visual, it's spiritual. In heaven, you'll know not only how someone looked, but who they truly were. Beyond fear, beyond pain, beyond the masks this world made them wear. Think about it. The people you loved most deeply, those you laughed and cried with, those who shaped your heart, that connection doesn't end at the grave. It's part of your soul's story. And what God creates in love, He doesn't destroy. But there's something else, something even more profound. In heaven, you'll see everyone, even those who hurt you, through God's eyes. You'll understand their brokenness, their struggles, their humanity. The bitterness will be gone. What will remain is truth and peace. Imagine recognizing someone not by what they did to you, but by who they were meant to be before the world bruised them. That's the kind of knowing heaven holds. So yes, you will recognize your loved one, not as shadows of who they were, but as the full, radiant souls God always saw them to be. And the reunion? It won't feel like meeting again. It'll feel like coming home. If there's one truth that ties all of this together, it's that heaven isn't just a destination, it's restoration. It's where every story, every tear, every unanswered question finds its meaning. And memory, far from being a burden, becomes part of that healing. Picture this: standing in the light of eternity, remembering your life, but this time without fear, regret, or sorrow. You see the moments that broke you, and instead of pain, you feel gratitude. You realize that what once seemed like loss was shaping you for something greater. That's what God does. He doesn't delete your past. He transforms it. The memories that once made you weep will now make you worship. Because in heaven, memory is no longer a weight. It's a witness, a testimony of grace that carried you from darkness into everlasting light. The Bible hints at this beautifully. Isaiah 65:17 says, "The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." But that doesn't mean erasure, it means liberation. Those former things, pain, guilt, fear, will no longer haunt you. They'll no longer define you. You'll be free from the emotional grip they once had. In that freedom, your memories become song. Your story becomes part of God's eternal symphony. Every note once broken, now perfectly tuned. And you'll finally see what it was all for. So, will we remember our earthly life in heaven? Yes, but differently. We'll remember it through God's eyes, not our wounds. We'll see how even the smallest moments had meaning, how every act of love echoed into eternity. And maybe the most beautiful part is this: the memories that matter most, the ones tied to love, to faith, to grace, those will never fade. Because love, real love, is eternal. Heaven isn't about forgetting the journey. It's about finally understanding why every step was worth it.